my beautiful people, and welcome back to the second episode of the Poison Podcast. I'm your host, Megan O'Neill, and we are going to talk about everything under the sun. This week, I really want to focus on the topics that are true at heart for me and probably for most of you. What is it about this time of year that makes us reflect so much? Is it because it's coming up to the end of the year, you're kind of looking past, there's this new year, new me? Do we look at it and be like, oh, I need to start again, I need to start over? What is it? Because everybody I speak to at the minute is in this area of self-reflection, and it's such an empowering place to be. But anybody that's there and that's going through the death and rebirth cycle of old things need to die for new things to come in, it is difficult. And there's a lot of people that maybe haven't been self-aware in the past that are now coming into this new sort of way of being, and it's fucking hard. It is hard, and anybody that says it's not hard whenever you are reflecting is a liar, a bold-faced liar, and I will call them out for it. Because when you start to be really self-aware and you start to reflect, it brings up all the shit you have done, and there is nowhere to hide when you're reflecting on your own self. So what is it about this time of the year? I find it extremely reflective, and I myself, I'm going through it. Like, I'm going through a death and rebirth cycle at the minute of like, old things need to die. I know I need to step into my power, and my God, is it hard. It is so hard to give yourself that kick up the hole that you really truly need whenever you have to do it yourself. It's easy for other people to come in and motivate you, but when you have to do it yourself, my God, is it hard. So let me know if in the comments or messages or whatever, are people feeling reflective as well? Are people feeling the really time to change and things are changing and there seems to be like this shift going on? And yeah, it's difficult, guys, and I just want you to know that I am there with you. And if you're not, then you're a lucky bastard, because the amount of people I speak to that are really going through it at the minute. I think Christmas and New Year is a really reflective period for a lot of people. We think about the people that aren't here. It's a very sad time for people. I know for me, I'm going to be brutally honest, it's a time where I feel extremely alone, and I kind of notice how alone I am in the world, because, and not even in a partner way, because obviously I choose to be on my own. I have my family and my friends, but it's just a time where I sit in the house, obviously, on Christmas Day. I am on my own. My baby daddy comes and we co-parent together and we sit with the kids, and obviously Santa's coming. It's magical, but it is a time where I remember the house being really full with, you know, the likes of my siblings and my aunts and my uncles and my grandparents, and unfortunately most of those people are gone now. So yeah, for me it's a very sad and lonely time, and I don't really enjoy it. Obviously I put on a brave face for the kids and I get through it, but yeah, it's not my favourite time of the year. My birthday is also on the 23rd, so I'm a Capricorn baby, also a Christmas baby, and it is shite because everybody forgets your birthday. They're like, oh, you're getting one present this year. You're getting one present every fucking year because we can't afford to buy two. So obviously my parents do go to the effort to obviously get two, but yeah, growing up it was kind of like, sorry, you missed out. Your parents had sex at the wrong time, baby, because you're a Christmas baby. So is my sister. So like, we both have it. Something I want to talk about today, actually probably going to ruffle a lot of feathers. I'm going to talk about monogamy and polyamory. So if people don't know what those two mean, polyamory is an open relationship in simpler terms, and monogamy is a relationship between two people. Marriage, any relationship sort of, because we have this culture that monogamy is the kind of default. The way it used to be default years ago, where you were straight and that was just kind of it, and everything that diverged off that path was kind of seen as abnormal. That's the way it was for me growing up. Obviously that's completely changed and we have come fucking miles ahead, which is absolutely amazing. But I want to talk about this because I was on a podcast last week in Leeds, and we were talking about open relationships and polyamory and monogamy, and I've seen a lot about it, and I recently started looking into it myself, because I was very much like, I've been in monogamous relationships my whole life, and I've never been a cheater, so it's never really crossed my mind. I am sort of like, if I have one person, it's that person and that's it. Don't get me wrong, I have cheated in the past. I think we all have. I've grown up and we've all cheated. I remember cheating on a boyfriend when I was 15 and it destroyed me. Oh wow, like I was a child, and we can all laugh about it now, but it was hard. It put me off sort of deceit and guilt, like the guilt that ate me up alive because I cheated on my boyfriend when I was 15 was enough to be like, I'm never fucking doing that again. Yeah, it completely put me off. But I think that there's this culture that we have to be monogamous, and I really want to talk about it and open the conversation up, because when I was in the podcast we were talking about it, and the host is very much in an open relationship, and so many people in my industry are in open relationships and it works. But the big thing about polyamory is communication and trust. I think the biggest fear that everybody has when they're in a monogamous relationship is that people are going to cheat. What do I believe? Well, I believe that there are people that are monogamous and there are people that aren't. But because we live in a society that if people are in an open relationship, it's kind of like, what? Like, people kind of look at them and go, what the fuck are you doing? For me, in the industry I'm in, I'm working across the sea and seeing all these different sort of relationships that really, really blossom and work well and bloom in polyamorous relationships. It's really opened my eyes, and it's made me start to question, am I monogamous? Am I polyamorous? To be honest, I really don't know. I think I could be both. I think I could definitely well be in a polyamorous relationship, but I could also be monogamous. You know, marriage isn't really a thing for me. I have never really wanted to get married. And saying that, I remember when I was 20, like starting to kind of look at marrying my partner at the time. I really wanted to marry him. Thank fuck I didn't, because wow. Like my daughter came in and saved my life away from that relationship, because like I remember I really wanted to get married on a beach in Jamaica, and I started to kind of plan the wedding, and we were kind of in talks about it, and like it was silly. When I look back now, I'm like, that was so silly. Like, we weren't engaged, like we weren't gonna get engaged. He hadn't even divorced his first wife. Like, it was it was never gonna happen. But obviously me being the sort of optimistic, oh, I want to marry you, because that's where I was. And I look back now and be so thankful that I never did get married, because I always knew that I would probably get divorced. Growing up, I've always been monogamous and I've never really looked outside of that. But as I get older, I'm like, I would love the freedom, because I have commitment issues. I would love the freedom of being able to be really open and not necessarily sleep with other people, but being really open and having a lot of love and stuff to give other people. And yeah, I don't know. I haven't decided myself what I am, but I do know that in my industry, it's very common for people to be in open relationships and have multiple partners in terms of scenes. I know a lot of couples in my industry that work together with other girls, so like they'll invite other girls and other boys into their relationship to make content, and it works. Like, there's no sort of, I'm not saying there's no jealousy and there's no issues, but it's about communication. And if you have that with somebody, if you have a foundation of like absolute transparency with somebody, then it probably can move to that level if you want. Obviously, I'm not saying what's right or what's wrong. I just find it extremely interesting to open up the conversation and talk about it. So, yeah, let me know in the comments, let me know in messages what you think. I would love to hear what everybody thinks about polyamory versus monogamy. I'm actually wondering what the moon phase is doing this week, guys. You just know that I love to talk about the moon. If I'm in a bad mood, I'm like, what the fuck's the moon doing? So tomorrow, you might not know this, I have a little moon diary. So tomorrow is actually a new moon. So that is where you begin to manifest. It is a birth. So it is a birth. So I'm going through the death and rebirth cycle. So I'm more than likely to do a ritual tomorrow. That is very personal to me, but I will, just to give an idea of what it actually looks like, I'll have my crystals, I'll have my bowl that I do my spells in, which sounds hilarious. I do spells. They're just kind of manifestations. They're not really spells. You can use herbs and stuff. I bring in all the elements, the 4 elements. I have something, you know, from earth, fire, water and air to kind of bring in the 4 corners. My therapist is a shaman. We've kind of went through journeying and bringing in the 4 corners and stuff like that before. So yeah, it's interesting and I love it, and obviously it's part of my life. But to the people out there that are not witchy woo, they're probably going like, what the absolute fuck is she talking about? I'm not going to tell you exactly what my ritual is, because it is, again, very personal to me, and it's not something that I would want to kind of share with the world, in terms of like, it is very, very unique. Everybody does things differently. But I'll write down on, it was actually my therapist that told me to do this. Again, she is a shaman, so she was like, write things down on a page on like the front of it that you want to like kind of burn away, and then in the inside of the folded piece of paper, write down the things that you want to bring in. So you're kind of banishing out and bringing in things at the same time, and the new moon is the absolutely perfect time to do so, because it is new beginnings, it is the birth, it is everything that you want to manifest. Get into the ritual tomorrow night. It's going to be beautiful. I get my power from the moon. I go out and I pull my power from the moon. My witchy woo power comes straight from the moon. Sunrise is 7:57. The sunset's 15:51. I hate that. I fucking hate that, because I am a moon goddess, but I love the sun. I love being out in the sun. I love the bright nights. I don't like the winter. I don't like the dark. It's a time for self-reflection. I find that extremely difficult. It's a time for change, and again, I find that difficult. I hate change. Being in the spectrum, me and change do not go together. So yeah, any wishes tomorrow? It's time to get out. It's the time to put it out there. If there's something you want to wish for tomorrow is the time. Sorry, I'm just going to take a drink here of my shaker. I have greens in this morning. This week I have been organising collabs. I've been organising a lot because the industry is getting very busy for next year. I've already booked in, let me think, 3 or 4 collabs, and I'm scared because if you've seen what I'm working with, I don't know how the fuck that's going to work, but we're going to do it. We're going to do it, and then you're going to all see it. I'm so excited. The amount of people that I'm also booking in for the podcast, and the reason I haven't had a guest on yet is because I don't have another mic. So I'm going to order another mic after Christmas, because obviously they're fucking expensive, and I'm going to have guests in, and I cannot wait to have guests in, because there's a few guests that we bounce off each other and we have a laugh, and it's going to bring out, I suppose, my personality and everybody else's personality that I'm going to have on as well, because when you bounce off somebody and it's really funny, it just makes for better content. So I'm really excited about that. There's a lot going on in the new year, and I'm really excited to bring that to you. Obviously, for the ones subscribed, you'll see it firsthand. You'll see my insights too, so to speak. For the ones just on social media and listen to the podcast, I mean, I'll tell you all about it. There is very exciting collabs coming up, and yeah, I'm excited. Last week I asked just to send in your agony aunts, and I've had a few. Now I'm going to pick one out of that, and we're going to talk about it. It's actually one that I feel very passionate about. When I read it, I was like, oh my god, I need to talk about this, because I'm going to fucking go to town in this. So I'm going to get my other phone out, and I'm going to read the email that I got, okay? So everybody, let's have an open mind, and if you have anything to share it in the comments to this person. It's a female has sent in an email about her partner and where she's at and where she's struggling. So, Agony Aunt story. I'm going to give advice. Okay, so mine is to do with body image. My child's dad has run down my body to the ground from I've had our son. Like, I'm a size 6, so I'm not overweight. It's my boobs, believe it or not. I get texts daily to tell me nobody will want me or my granny tits, in inverted commas. And it's getting to me. He's made me feel worthless, Megs, and I need your help to feel good again, if you can. Oh! Well, what does Megan have to say about that? What does Megan O'Neill have to say in the Poison podcast about that? I should have worn my t-shirt that said dump him, because girl, any man gives you any sort of fucking back chat, any sort of lip, get him to fuck, honestly. Obviously, I know it's not as easy as that. It's not as easy as just breaking everybody up, because when a girl comes to me and a boy comes to me with any sort of problems in the relationship with the other person, I just go break up. Obviously I'm joking. There is some things that you can work through, but see if somebody's running you down, like physically, girl, get rid, especially your baby daddy. Like, you had their child and your body has changed, and now they have the fucking audacity to turn around and be like, oh, nobody will want you in your granny tits. Girl, go and get somebody else. Trust me now when I say people will want you. See this bullshit of this control and this manipulation about people going, oh, they're not going to want you, nobody's going to want you. Really, I've had it all, trust me. I had a Sky News reporter come and tell me, because I wouldn't date him, that nobody would want me because I'm a single parent anyway. And I only had one child then. I went on to have 2 children to 2 different men. People say to me all the time, nobody's going to want you. Well, people don't say it anymore, but they did. Men tried to tell me, nobody's going to want you, nobody's going to want you. That's all right. I'll prove that is absolute bullshit. Girl, and when I'm saying I'm meaning you. You are, I know this girl, she's fucking gorgeous. She is stunning. Like, she's saying she's a size 6. Not that that matters. Your body does not matter. Like, the fucking audacity. You've had this man's child. And he is turning around and saying, your tits are saggy, or your granny tits, or what the fuck? Are you shitting me right now? Where the fuck does he get the audacity? Send him to me. Send him to me. I take him down a peg or two, because honestly I feel so passionate about this. Like, we go from maiden to mother journey. That journey in itself is a powerful, extremely fucking amazing journey. Our bodies change. Our bodies fucking develop. We grow an actual human being. Like an actual fucking person in our body. And this cunt has the audacity to turn around and go, nobody will want your tits. I'm sorry, my tits are here to feed my fucking child. Not for you. Not for you. They're here for me and to feed my child. They're secondary sexual organs. They're not primary sexual organs. Our breasts are to feed our children. We only sexualise them because we've sexualised them for years. They were not sexual organs. They're not sexual organs. They're secondary sexual organs, but not primary. Like, I can't even... See the amount of girls as well I know that deal with this sort of thing whenever their partner's like, oh, you've changed, like your body isn't the same, bye. See if you don't want it, see you later. Fuck off. How dare you have the audacity after the trauma of your body changing, because it is traumatising for so many girls whenever they notice their body changing. I had 0 stretch marks up until I was 36 weeks pregnant with my daughter, and it was traumatising to watch them come and me to be a model, and to quit modelling because of it, to quit modelling because I thought I was never worthy enough to then stand in front of, you know, a camera with stretch marks and loose skin. And now I do it with fucking power, because I'm like, I'm stepping into my power. My body is not my power comes from within. So if a man is making you feel in any sort of way shit about the way you physically look, get the fuck rid. Like, it's so disrespectful that you have literally taken something that they've given you, which is their sperm, and turned it into an actual life. An actual fucking life. You're a goddess. You're literally, like, this is the thing, females really need to understand their power here. We are the creators of life. We take what men give us and we turn it into things bigger. We take one of their sperms, we decide which sperm we want, by the way, then we take it and then we create a girl or a boy, we create life inside of us. And our vaginal canal is the fucking, or pussy is what they call it, and it's all about, there's a book talking about using the word pussy and taking back your pussy power. Like, people cringe at that word. Why do we cringe at that word? Because society tells us to, because society has made it into something dirty and something shameful. No. Our vagina or vulva is literally the fucking life source. The life source. I don't give a fuck what anybody says. We are the life source. Going back, we were viewed as goddesses by men. Society has changed that, and this is the patriarchy, toxic patriarchy. There's toxic matriarchy as well, don't get me wrong. There's toxic femininity, there's toxic, everything can be toxic if it's used in the wrong way. But see, this idea that females are less than because they have kids, and females' bodies changing is disgusting. I'm sorry, do you want a fucking child? Do you want a child? Are you into kids? Like, honestly, females' bodies are going to change when they have kids, because guess what? We've literally fucking went through the maiden to mother voyage, the journey, and how dare you that you have not been in my body turn around and even comment on it. No fucking way. It is not happening. And see if it's going to happen. See if you're going to be the fucking cheek for you as a man to turn around and question my body or my capabilities as a mother, as a human, as a female. Because if something's changed, remove yourself, leave, because we don't want to fucking hear it. We are out here raising generations, and you're slagging us off because of our boobs in this situation. I'm sorry, not fucking happening, sister. I'm here for you, and I will back you up, because that needs to get to fuck. And I'm sure there's so many girls in this situation, and I know there is. I'll tell you my story. So after I had my child, my partner told me that I was fat and that he didn't fancy me, and I laughed about it, because I was like, there's no way I'm fat. Like, I'm tiny. Like, I was a size 4 back in the day. I'm a size 6 to 8 now, but like, what? Do you know what I mean? So like, trust me girls, these men are insecure. They just want to say things to bring you down because they know you'll get somebody else. This is exactly what it is. It's not personal to you, it's an insecurity of theirs. Oh, you're not a fucking supermodel. Like, but well, you are to me, you are, and to females that you are. So we're all supermodels. But to this, I'm sorry, to this, what is he, like a 5? Is he even a 5? I don't know what he looks like. But like, don't you dare come in here and question my body after I've had a fucking human being live inside of me and eat everything I'm eating and take all my nutrients, and then I pushed it out, or I got it cut out. Like, how fucking dare you? The audacity of these men. I'm sorry, I cannot. So, block him. Block him. If he's texting you, block him. No. Right, I've got that out of the road. I'm going to be really serious for a minute, because I am very passionate about this, and for me, I would just be like, goodbye, block, goodbye, fuck off, don't care, don't want to hear it, don't want to know what you think about my body, didn't ask, fuck off. I feel very passionate. I'm sure you can understand, and you can see that I feel very passionate about this topic, because no man's going to make my sister, because we're all sisters. I love sisterhood. No man is going to make my sister feel any sort of fucking way. No, it's not my sister, okay? It's not my sister. My sister doesn't have kids. It's not my sister. We are in the sisterhood. I feel so attached to the sisterhood, and I talk to him about it, explain that it's hurting you, and when you set a boundary with somebody, with your partner, and they then disregard that, it's either you accept that they're going to be this way, or you get up and leave. Now, it is simple. It's very simple. There's always a simple solution to things. Usually there's only ever 2 choices. Now, obviously it's very complex. Every situation, case by case, is completely different. Usually it's either you accept or you leave. You accept it or you leave. Obviously you can talk to them. So first of all, I would say have a chat with them. Explain to them that this is really upsetting you, and that they need to change their ways, and that you're not going to put up with this anymore, because you would rather be on your own than be battered every day mentally, and your self-esteem and your self-worth take a hit. You would rather be on your own. Trust me, girl, you would rather be on your own as a single parent than deal with any of that bullshit. Trust me, I've been there, I've done it. I've raised 2 kids of my own, completely on my own. Trust me when I say you would rather be a single parent than have to deal with a man telling you every day that you're not worth shit. I've been there, I've done it. I had a partner that told me every day I would become nothing, that I was worthless, that I would never make anything of my life. And look at me now. You cannot heal in the environment that broke you. So you either get your fucking shit and you leave, or you fucking cause a ruckus and you make him change. But people will not change unless they want to change. People can change, don't get me wrong. People can see the error of their ways and change, but they have to want to change. And if this is just a man that decides that he's just going to be misogynistic and treat you like fucking dirt on your shoe after you've had his child, sister, get rid, because there's so many better men out there. Trust me when I say that. You don't need a man to define your worth. You don't need anybody to define your worth. You are worthy, regardless of what your physical vessel looks like. And that's all I have to say on that matter. And I hope that you take this. And I'm sure there's going to be a flock of females that feel the same, and they're going to flock into the DMs and they're going to say, I completely relate to this. Because we've all been there. We've all had to deal with a man tell us we're not going to get anybody else, and we're not going to be worthy of anything, and that we look ugly, and we're ugly and fat and stupid and whatever else they've called us. The rise of us sisters is happening. We're not dealing with this anymore. We're not dealing with this bullshit. It's hard to be a single parent, and it's hard for the change, but trust me when I say it's so much better than having to deal with this. Now, I'm not trying to fucking make people break up. First of all, my first port of call would be sit him down, explain to him exactly what's happening within you whenever he says these sorts of things. And if he disregards that, well then, sister, you deserve so much better. Trust me when I say you deserve so much better. Well, you do. And that's it, and you know that you do, because you know deep down this should not be happening. So please take that note, and I hope that it helps. Please update me with what's going on and what you decide to do. But that's it today for the second episode of the Poison Podcast. Again, please send me in your topics. Please send me in your Agony Aunt stories, and we will get through them. There's another couple that I do want to talk about. We'll maybe talk about them next week. Thank you so much for joining me today on the Poison Podcast. I am your host.